Vulcan, you hear me? Pull your finger out.
Huh? Yeah, I hear you. My head feels like a bomb went off in it.
Well, shake it off. We're still not at the end of this stinking swamp, and I'm not gonna carry you all the way to the village.
By the way, how come Hawk isn't the one here with me? He's the lead scout. I always go with him.
Hawk is covering the back of the line, so this time, I'm the one who goes with you. You'll get over it.
Why do I get the feeling I'm under surveillance?
You think nobody noticed your little stunt at the temple? Damn right we're watching you. Now shut your trap and keep an eye on our perimeter, while I keep an eye on you.
And while the captain has a nice chat about me with the Red Scribes.
It'll be a lot easier to talk to those two-faced snakes without you hanging around. Don't worry about it. He'll tell you what you need to know. And if he doesn't tell you, then I will.
Thanks, Sarge.
Let's get moving before everybody catches up.
You lot are about as discreet as a herd of hunchbacks.
I thought that elves were supposed to have superior eyesight. Do we look like stiffs to you, dickhead?
Not yet. But with an arrow sticking out of your throat, I'm certain that even a chatterbox like you could do a passable impression.
And you'd be the next one down.
Possibly. Perhaps I should aim for the largest target first.
Not if you want to keep both your balls.
What have we here? Buffalo in person. Well, that's a good sign.
What's going on here? Who's the scrag with the pointy ears?
Thanks for noticing. I try to keep them sharp. I am called Rhelmar, and I gather the red-faced fat belly with the filthy beard is none other than the famous Elric, leader of the Freeborn Blades.
They call me the Captain.
All the Freeborn Blades call you Captain Elric. I have no doubt that they do. As for me, I've never had much interest in titles or in military protocol. I judge people by their deeds.
And what are you doing down in the swamps, besides threatening honest mercenaries?
Looking for you. Well, I began by searching for the Red Scribes. Prince Arundel is wounded. We had to withdraw to Valvanor, where I learned that you were expected. I just wanted to make sure you found your way there.
This is not my first walk in the wilds, arswipe. As you can see, I'm on the right path, and we've nearly reached our destination.
Captain, those creatures I told you about this morning are gathering nearby. They're probably getting ready to attack us.
Ah, well, those are called chrysalids. They wait until they have gathered enough numbers, and then they overwhelm you. And it would seem your little group is attracting a whole swarm to the village.
Well, we'll give them a welcome.
Actually, in spite of themselves, these creatures do an excellent job of keeping Deadwalker scouts away without raising any suspicions. If we allow them to gather here and then massacre them, I fear we'll be moving their territory a bit too close to Valvanor, which will lead to our being discovered sooner or later. I suggest we send 1 or 2 men back. This will keep them separated and occupied, while the rest make it to the village. I'm ready to volunteer, if you fear I might try and slip away. I know the area well.
Sounds like a plan to me. Vulcan, you're on it.
I want to go too. The animals and plants in this swamp are extraordinary. And the venom of these chrysalids seems very interesting. I'd love to get a chance to observe them more closely.
Sybil, that is out of the question. Have you lost your mind? It's too dangerous.
This is brave of you, little girl. And I'm sure you fight well. But on this little walkabout, you'd better let somebody who knows the area well lead the way. Hey, Rhelmar, if you're feeling up to facing a few bug-eyed freaks, let's get going.
By all means. Don't forget, I'm the one with the pointy ears.
All right, we'll see you in the village. No dicking around, Vulcan.
No dicking around, Captain. Rhelmar, You got a minute?
Yes?
I have a few questions I need to ask you. Elves are pretty rare. I haven't had the chance to talk to many. Can you tell me more about your people?
We are born in the trees, eat only seeds, and we spend all the livelong day singing.
I get the feeling you're fucking with me.
Perish the thought. Well, it's just that we aren't that different from you humans, despite what one hears. Our civilization is obviously a bit older, so we have had the time to learn from our mistakes. We don't really live in the same rhythm as you do. We move a little slower, and most of us are prone to having at least some respect for the past. This is the reason why we never destroy anything, that we prefer to build on top of things.
I've heard that you're immortal?
That joke has lived for 15 generations. I will never get tired of it. No, we're not immortal. We live long lives, though, much longer than you. We are resistant to poisons, rotten food, and toxic body odor, apparently. Unfortunately, these things do not make us immortal.
Don't elves ever make war?
That's an impression we like to give other people. The fact is, we do go to war, just never against each other. You must understand that, given our long lifetimes, battles are fairly futile. This may well be what has motivated the choices of our king concerning the Ice Lords. But we certainly know how to fight, and you'll see proof of that soon enough.
So it's the prince who gives the orders?
The word orders may not be the best one. We do not submit nor obey easily. Our kings are a reference, wise men who can point out the way. They tend to guide us rather than give us orders. But to answer your question, it is his father, the king, who is the leader of our people.
You seem different from the other elves I've met. Where are you from?
Really? I seem different. And yet I have such pointy ears. And if you really want to know, I actually come from one of the most ancient and noble houses that exists. I'm even linked to the royal family. But I can assure you that I'm sufficiently far down the line of succession to be in no danger of being crowned. And my reputation is no help either.
Hey, as far as bad reputations go, every mercenary's got one, so we're used to it.
Let's just say that I got into enough trouble to eventually be considered a traitor to my people. When I got involved in the war, I disagreed with decisions made by the king. He thought that this war, like so many others, would not last. That the conquests won by the Ice Lords would melt away like all the human victories before them had. But I thought differently. Right from the start of hostilities, I began to requisition certain resources I felt necessary for those doing the fighting. More food, more weapons, better armor. When my people discovered what I'd done, I was declared an outlaw, and many saw me as a thief, which, in a manner of speaking, I guess I was.
What a bunch of cowards. If they had listened to you, we wouldn't be in this mess.
I've been telling myself that for years, but I do understand their point of view. It is flawed, but not entirely thoughtless. They have had some time to prepare their forces and to learn the strengths and weaknesses of the Dead Walker army. This knowledge might allow us to turn the tide of the war, even if it does seem too little too late at this point.
Do you know these swamps?
I've been in this area long enough to have explored a fair amount of it, actually. The region is rather inhospitable, which I suppose is a good thing under the present circumstances.
A good thing? You're out of your mind.
These swamps are a labyrinth. The Dead Walker scouts will never be autonomous enough to find their way to the village by themselves.
That means we should be fairly safe for the moment. At least until a general or an Ice Lord comes to town.
Except that recently, there has been a change in these swamplands. And I must admit that I no longer feel safe at all.
What do you mean?
Something is affecting the swamplands, corrupting the vegetation and the animals. And I have no idea what it is. But anything that grows or lives here could become a threat. So I strongly recommend that you watch where you put your feet.
Let's change the subject.
Vulcan, you must help me. The prince is dying.
Well, I'm happy to see that my talents as a doctor are finally being recognized.
There's no doubt an explosion would cure him of all his ills forever. But I was actually thinking about your connections with the Red Scribes. If you could speak to them, it would save me having the prince's death on my conscience.
I wouldn't exactly call myself a friend of theirs, but yeah, I can always give it a try. So, is the prince doing any better?
He is still in a coma. He doesn't seem much better, no.
I'm going to speak with the Red Scribe's doctor. He might know of a cure.
Thank you.
Let's change the subject. I have a few questions I need to ask you. Who is the elf in the healing house? Is he really your prince?
He is Prince Arundel, the son of our king and heir to the Elven crown. Therefore, yes, he is our king.
How the hell did he end up here?
Prince Arundel led a detachment of the Elven army sent to harass the Deadwalkers. And when he reached Bastion, he fell into an ambush. I got wind of this trap, but by the time I arrived, it was too late. When I caught up to the prince, he was already wounded, and most of his soldiers were dead. Those who survived covered our retreat.
To here?
Yes. The route to Carolthas was too dangerous. I knew about this village and felt that it would be secure for at least a little while. As soon as he gets better, we shall leave for Carolthas. The remainder of the human and elven armies are gathering there. That is where the final stage of the war will be played out.
Do you have any idea how to wake the elf prince up?
Unfortunately, I don't. I think I've tried just about every remedy I know, but nothing works.
You said just about. I'm guessing that's not by chance.
It's true, there's one formula I haven't tried yet. An extremely powerful solution that requires a certain ingredient to make. An ingredient I don't have.
What is it?
A very virulent poison secreted by the chrysalid queen. But be careful you don't mix them up with the ones you usually see. I wanted to go looking for them myself, but the villagers stopped me. They say they're really dangerous. It seems they can be found along the road we took to get here. And apparently, they only come out at night.
I'll get you some. I gotta go.
Greetings, mercenary. What can I do for you?
So, how's it going with the cure to wake up the prince?
Unfortunately, no. Without the poison I told you about, I can't make it.
I brought you some.
Excellent. Just give me some time to prepare the cure and administer it to him.
It doesn't seem to be working. I was wondering too, a cure made from poison? If it kills him, you know you'll get it too, right, Doc?
A lot you know. Lots of cures are made from poisons. But I have to admit that for the moment, he's not responding to the treatment.
Shit. All that for nothing. Well, we tried.
Tell me, is it true that you're the demolitions man for the Freeborn Blades?
That's right.
You know, while I can't really do any big explosions, I do know how to make a few traps. And I've actually been working on a new one. But I'm in the dark on a few little details.
What's on your mind?
Yeah, that might sound a little twisted. Using sharp pieces of scrap metal, such as nails or small blades.
That's not a bad idea. The basic idea is fine, but there's a good chance we won't find the stuff we need around here. But we could replace the tar with...
And do you think we'll get similar results with these new materials?
maybe even better. A little messy, but effective? Oh, hell yeah. I'll give you a list of the stuff we need. I'll let you go out and find it all. We'll meet back up in a few hours and assemble it, okay?
Perfect.
Do you think we should listen to Prince Arundel and go with him to Carolthas?
The great Elven army and what is left of the human army in this part of Vertial are now gathering at Carolthas. Separately, none of these troops stood a chance, but united... well, in any case, it's the only hope we have left. Reinforcements from the Freeborn Blades and Red Scribes will help, and so will you, from what I've seen. And even if I don't approve of all the strategic choices made by my sovereign these last few years, I think he'll rise to the occasion now that he can no longer retreat. He knows the lands around Carolthas perfectly, so I'm sure he will bring the battle onto terrain that will favor us. And since you're curious to know more about what happened to you, my people's scholars are famous. They can surely help you.
You've got it all figured out.
I believe we can manage to hold the Deadwalker army back this time, though it's a bit early to start celebrating. Just in time, Vulcan. I'm afraid I need your help again.
What happened to you now?
To me, nothing. It's about my people. Have you ever heard of the Stone of Souls?
No. Worth a lot?
No. I mean, yes. It's priceless, but it's not for sale.
I'm not sure I follow you.
I'll explain. Every elf possesses a Stone of Souls, which contains the memories and emotions from all the greatest moments of his life. These stones are passed from generation to generation. It's a way of preserving the memories of our people and of honoring our ancestors. With all of those who died at Carolthas, there are thousands of stones abandoned in the city. We cannot just leave them there. You're no doubt the one who will be traveling to our city the most. If you could bring back as many of them as possible, I'd be eternally grateful. Actually, all of my people will be in your debt. At least the ones who still live.
All right, I'll take care of it. But don't expect to see me dancing around with a wheelbarrow full of rocks.
That would in fact be an amusing sight. But I do get your meaning. Whenever you can, check the bodies of elves you come across and collect the stones. Even if we manage to save only a very few, we will at least preserve some of the memories of my people.
I'll see what I can do. Let's change the subject. I have a few questions I need to ask you. I'm guessing this is not the way you'd always imagined coming back to your lands.
For years now, I've been waiting for the day when I could go back to my city. But deep inside, I've dreaded this moment. If I was ever coming back home, it could only mean one of two things. Either I'd been captured by my people, or I'd been forgiven because I was right. I would have preferred being captured. My city has fallen, and I do not recognize it.
This is no time to feel sorry for yourself. This war is not over yet, and your people need you now more than ever.
We have been swept away. There is no more army, no more supply base, and nothing left to fight for.
How long have you been harassing the Deadwalker army without getting caught by your people?
Nearly 7 years.
7 years of guerrilla warfare, and you're still here. You know exactly how Carolthas is laid out. You are going to be essential in the days to come.
Perhaps. We shall see.
Let's change the subject. I haven't been able to find any yet.
If you wouldn't mind continuing the search, I would be truly grateful. Some of the stones might have been found already, but I'm certain that others remain. Oh my.
Hilarious. But with friends like you, who needs enemas?
I've taken a tour of the camp, and it's like a sieve.
What do you propose?
Well, I'd be safer with a few dozen well-placed traps. Do you think you could build them for me?
I'll take care of that as soon as I get a second. Rhelmar, you got a minute?
Yes?
I built your traps. Okay, here are your traps. Now you just need to put them in place.
Thank you. I must admit that I'm relieved it was you who built them. I've been living in fear of messing up my hairstyle permanently had I tried to do it.
Rhelmar, you got a minute?
Yes?
Here's all that I could find. I doubt I'll be able to find any more.
Each stone that you can recover is precious. I can't thank you enough for what you've already done. You're giving us back our memories.
We're not alone. What the hell is that thing with all those legs?
It is a concubine. Lord Blackfrost has always had somewhat unusual erotic tastes. Why would she be here, unless she already knows of our plan?
Curse them! Look at the support pillars. They crawl with deadwalkers.
A trap, and a good one. Your little friends will be taken from the rear, if you'll pardon the expression.
We must prevent it. We have to hurry to open the drawbridge.
I say we must not. This concubine has given us an opportunity. We must attack her while her troops are busy elsewhere. These are creatures of great power. You must absorb them one by one if you hope to stand against Lord Blackfrost. Those other men are already as good as lost.
Do not heed the words of this witch! If you do not open the bridge, all our soldiers will die, and this war will be over. I do not believe you even have need of this misshapen beast's supposed power. This evil whore is twisting your mind. She wishes to weaken us. From the beginning, she has been hiding something from us, and it will go ill for you if you trust her.
Really? I would have hoped for a little more affection from someone who spies on me when I bathe.
Rhelmar's right. If we do nothing, those elves are screwed.
So be it. Go then. Help your lost army, but remember that you have condemned us all. At best, you will gain a little time, but you will never have a better chance than the one that you are now throwing away.
have to admit, you really are full of surprises. These powers of yours are interesting. Nonetheless, you just aren't in the same class as a Lord of the Frozen Shadows. It wouldn't be sporting of me to eliminate you so early in the day, but you do have potential. I will leave you a little time to build your strength. When you think you're ready to face me, come to my domain. We will finish this once and for all.
Well, I think we should count ourselves fortunate that he seems to like you. Though I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Huh? Where did Edwin go?
I know not, but I for one shall not miss her. It would not surprise me if she had betrayed us and returned to the enemy.
That would make no sense.
Perhaps it would to her. Let us go and help my brothers. We will have need of all our allies if we are to conquer this Ice Lord.
Let's go.
Hold on. Did you see that? There's something strange about that corpse. It can't be. That's Prince Arundel. We can't just leave him here like this. We have to take care of him.
You really think that now is the time to hold a funeral? We've been tripping over bodies for days.
I wasn't speaking of his body. We don't even practice ritual burial. But we must take care of his soul.
So, now you take yourself for a priest?
Of course not. Don't you remember the Stone of Souls? Where each elf stores his memories, his feelings? Know that in the case of the kings and the princes, this stone is particularly important. It is unique and very ancient. It's all the memories of all the kings of the past in one jewel. We cannot simply leave it here. This stone has a crucial role for our people. And what's more, it contains immense power.
And you want to get it back?
Precisely. Without it, there will no longer be a king to reign over the elves. And who knows how it might be used if it were to fall in the wrong hands.
Plus, you might need it for yourself, right? But meanwhile, we're pretty much stuck. There's no way to get to his body.
You're right. Find a way past.
There, you see? Already giving orders, Your Majesty.
Vulcan, I knew that you would find us.
Did you get separated? Where are the others?
Well, the attack of this concubine took us by surprise. The group was broken up, and unfortunately not everyone managed to escape. We set up camp and did some reconnaissance.
What did you find out?
Not very much for the moment. This area is particularly hostile. There is a powerful, corrupting magic everywhere. It seems to strengthen the undead and weaken us. Nevertheless, Mathras seems to thrive in this strange atmosphere. He has been serving as our scout.
I've been sensing something unhealthy in the air. This field of corruption might cause us to slow down.
I can feel it too. It's not the nicest feeling I've ever had, but I don't think it's going to slow us down much.
Speak for yourself. My head feels like an anvil, and that's without my even listening to Randval say anything. If I have to continually fight against this evil magic, there's a good chance that I will start to slow you down.
I understand. Let's go and find Mathras. He might have found out something useful. You got a minute?
Yes?
I have a few questions I need to ask you. Do you know this place?
I've never been here, but I've heard about it. Before Blackfrost set himself up here, this was an ancient elven city, long abandoned.
Why is that?
It was a city dedicated to the arts and entertainment. Something about the architecture, or perhaps the place itself, seemed to augment the power of the work that artists here were able to do. The tale is told of a tragedy being performed here that was so powerful that all the spectators and the whole city just died. I'm serious. After that, no elf wanted to come back here. The place was thought to be cursed.
You will go no further.
Edwin, or should I say White Lady, it's nice of you to come and see me. You had left in such a rush.
Laugh while you can, you idiot. Your stupidity has condemned this world.
That's funny, coming from a fallen ice lady.
You had a chance to take Black Frost by surprise, a unique opportunity to thwart him, and you let it slip through your fingers.
What? Do you think I'm here to enjoy the scenery?
You are here because he wishes it so. He's waiting for you. You have given him time to prepare for you, to think of a way to get his hands on the power you hold. And there can be no question of letting him do as he wishes. For over a year I have labored alone to liberate the world heart. The power belongs to me and no one else.
Don't worry. I'm gonna give you more than you can take.
Short but sweet.
I'll go. I'm the best hunter you will find. And I have a score to settle with those harlots.
You make a good argument, but try to keep your head on your shoulders, would you?
Hey, it's me, remember?
My goodness, going on a concubine hunt sounds an awful lot of fun. I will assist you by diverting the attention of the one they call the Stalker. I'll arrange it so that she stays on the side of the ancient bridge near the doors to the city. Meanwhile, you can deal with her two sisters without fear of interruption. I would, however, advise you not to waste too much time. I'm not convinced my conversation will hold these illiterates' attention indefinitely.
We can cross that off the list. That little bitch won't be ruining the sewers with her rotting waste anymore.
Now that we've defeated the Creator, there should be fewer dead bodies blocking the way through the sewers.
Do you think we should go back now?
By the time we get there, the way through will be clear. We should be able to make it to the prince's body.
Let's not lose any more time. Let's go.
After you. Take the stone. I may not touch it for the moment. This stone is very special. I have to do a ritual in order to liberate it. And so goes Prince Arundel, fifth of that name.
You did everything you could to save him. If you want to honor his memory and his heritage, you'll just have to become a great king. Whatever your differences, I'm sure he holds none of it against you now.
In any case, this is not the time for lamentations. We need to rejoin the fight and try to save any that might still be alive. And I thank you for your support. I fear I'll make a dreadful king. But we must forget all of that for now, and just enjoy this moment together. What do you say?
Sure, why not? You'll probably be needing a queen one day, and hey, I bet I look pretty cute in a crown.
I knew that thou wouldst allow these humans to corrupt thee.
A dragon. You summoned a dragon.
Ha! One of the few they were able to corrupt, and I turned it against them. Black Storm defeated it and imprisoned it here. It was trapped like me.
So now you turned it against me.
It is thee who has turned against me, abandoning me here, left to pay the price for each and all of thy errors in thy stead, whilst I did all I could to help thee to return. And so it is, I am come to the end of my strength. An empty shell o'ertaken with rot. I did not wish to harm thee, but I no longer am master of all that I do. Is that why thou hast killed my companions?
Is that why you killed my companions?
The visions? Speak rather to thy human half, for that is who hath invoked them, with its fear and its regrets. Thy companions never traveled through the breach.
So it comes to this. You and me. It's time we ended this.
Ha! It is all I have awaited. Remove these accursed lances from me, and let the world heart become whole once more.
The world heart. Damn. We made it.
I would like to congratulate you in person, but I'm only a reflection. Today the living are not the masters of Virtual. You can save them, lead them, or destroy them. The choice is yours, and I pray the demon inside you does not make it for you. But try to think of those who remain. Think of us.
The flame will burn bright and new, and the necromancers will be the first into the fire.
We don't need to go that far. All we need is to remove these spears, and the necromancers will be left powerless.
As powerless as when they enslaved the world heart? No, it will not suffice. They must be annihilated.
I'll track them down. The dead walkers will be gone, the survivors will have a chance, and Vertiel will be rebuilt, little by little.
Little by little? It would take centuries, nay, thousands of years for thy world to rebuild its energy. The world heart hath not been remade whole. Thou must permit me to rejoin with mine other half.
So that you can take over and burn Vertiel? No thanks. I am the most powerful being in the two worlds. I've got responsibilities.
Thou wouldst use me to reign over them, as did the necromancers. How long dost thou imagine that I shall allow thee to use me in this way?
I don't know, but you'd better get used to it. You were the one talking about centuries and thousands of years before our worlds can be rebuilt. And I plan on being right there to keep an eye on them. Meanwhile, let me enjoy this victory in silence. Do you mind?